Welcome to the Dave Palma Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail? I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it. Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Palma.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Palma Show. With me in this episode, I have a lawyer who was past president of Center for Independent Living of South Florida, 2018 to 2020, and owner and operator Cut to the Chase podcast. Gregg M Goldfarb, Gregg Goldfarb, welcome to the Dave Palma Show.
How you doing, Dave? Thanks for having me on your show.
Great. I'm glad you're on the show. One of the things I've been doing is whistleblowing and stuff like that, when obviously more for discriminatory stuff and things like that, cultural stuff in my own organisation. I'm retired now, but I just got a lot of I don't know what you call it, backfired. This stuff backfiring on you. That's what happens with whistleblowers, and it's in a dangerous job where you can get injured in firefighting. So we will do a good job out there, but the internal politics is there, and I'm sure you've probably heard about a lot of that anyway, haven't you? Really?
Yeah, no, it's a very exciting, genre. The whistleblower.
That's right, exactly. Well, tell us about the work you do. I mean, I know you've done some work with the police and stuff like that, trying to obviously, get some litigation against damage done there. But, different job to mine, but same emergency services frontline, isn't it? So same hierarchy, same kind of culture that goes on, really, to be honest. But tell us about the work you do before we go into your podcast and then let everyone find out where to find you.
So, I've been an attorney for 27 years, and I wasn't really a good law student. So coming out, I sort of had to figure out my way around the legal world without getting a high-end job. A lot of people do great in law school, and then they get a big job. They get pigeonholed to some, boring genre at some law firm, and they're basically treated like indentured servitude and just work, build.
Yeah.
But I actually had the opportunity to basically go out and try to do what I wanted to do, which was environmental public interest kind of stuff. So I started, I did like environmental work, representing environmental groups, challenging big development projects. That's hard to make a living doing it because the money is on the other side. The developers, they have their environmental attorneys or whatever, where they're just polluting and ravishing the planet, and then they claim that it's all in the best interest of everybody, and they're going to clean something up or whatever. So over time, I basically handled a variety of stuff. Whistleblower, like what we were mentioning before.
Yeah,
done some whistleblowing stuff in the private prison industry. I've done some whistleblowing in rest care, which is like Job Corps. So that was very exciting. Now I'm more focused on insurance claims and mass torts, which I know you were a firefighter. So I represent a bunch of firefighters in the AFFF litigation, the firefighting foam.
Yes, I know it.
Yeah, really horrible stuff.
Torts law, Torts law can get really complicated there, can't it, really? I mean, where do you go with the AFFF foam? Because, I mean, that's ordered in from, we used it in London, well, in the UK, we use AFFF as well. So where'd you go with that? Because it's the manufacturers, really, rather than the fire department, isn't it?
Well, basically the litigation is ongoing. It's been going on for a number of years now. And, it's DuPont, it's 3M. There's a couple of other companies that are involved in this. And so it's just straightforward litigation. But there's enough firefighters that have, basically cancer and other horrible diseases because of the forever chemicals. It's a major problem.
Yeah.
The water contamination that the firefighting foam has caused. Initially when they would provide it to the firefighters, they would say, "Oh, just go ahead, with your training, go to a military base or go to an airport and spray the stuff all around or whatever. It'll just go away." Well, it never really went away. It would just go into the water base, the aquifers. And then, the firefighters were getting it on themselves when they were spraying. And so there were two ways people were, the firefighters were getting it: one by spraying, and one by the water that they would be drinking or bathing in or what have you. So that's going on. A lot of governments have actually sued 3M and DuPont for the same thing, and they just got a big settlement. And basically, the settlement is money that's going to be used to clean up water bodies all over the United States. What's going on outside of the United States, in the UK with this, I don't know. But my firm is focused on the firefighters.
Yeah, there is a big thing now. I mean, the first thing was PTSD and high suicide rate outside line of duty. So that's suicide rate's nothing to do with death on the front line of firefighters. It's a very serious thing, and now it's cancer with lots of things. It's not only just foam; it's lots of other things going home with or coming back with the soot on the smell. I forgot what they call it now, carcinogen or whatever. I'm not sure I pronounced it right, but anyway, there's a lot of research still being done in the UK for this, but I think the States are a little bit much more ahead.
Yeah, we're more litigious. We're more litigious.
You are, yeah. We know there's a suit culture out there, yeah.
I think Europe is catching up, because I mean the bottom line is, the word litigious sounds terrible, but there's a lot of people that have been affected by products, wrongly, and they should be compensated. Whether it's paying their medical bills, some people die, some people can't work, and it's all because of a product or whatever. Why should they not be compensated? Why should the legal system not be set up with an even playing field that's designed to get people compensated for all these wrongs? I think the United States is a little ahead of the game. I think Europe is going to catch up at some point. We'll see.
Yeah, the answer to that question, they'll probably usually say because there's no money, or they just don't want to admit liability.
Yeah,
one out of the
two. And sometimes that's the new thing. Now, you ask me what I'm doing now. All of a sudden, I'm like learning bankruptcy because a lot of the companies that I'm suing that are like Fortune 500 companies are filing for bankruptcy. And I'm like, you're like the wealthiest company in the world.
Yeah, a lot of these old companies will probably claim that, won't they? Really?
Oh yeah, no, that's not a bike. Yeah,
they're probably probably the most profitable they've ever been, and yet everyone's paying high fuel costs and everything, and really, some have been driven down to poverty.
Well, it's a shame.
Yeah, it's a real bad thing that how they're really doing that with. How they're watching people suffer while they're just getting feeding off all that profit, really. But anyway, that's just another thing. So litigation around that area, and I see also you've dealt with whistleblowers and litigation around that as well, have you, or is your main thing around torts and things like that?
Yeah, I've had like two different phases of my career. I would say the first half of my career, I did a lot of whistleblower cases, and they're really hard. I mean, it's if the whistleblower goes through, it's not like, all right, I'm filing a lawsuit or I'm blowing the whistle and I got to go and testify or whatever. I mean, people's careers get ruined, their lives get upended. They can no longer work in the industry because everybody knows about them. So it's like as an attorney, a lot of times you're kind of like focused on getting your client compensation. You're not like focused on necessarily protecting them from future, retaliatory kind of stuff, but that became
backlash, you mean?
Yeah, that became part of the process or whatever. And, it's just, you really got to be laser focused on, if you're going to do whistleblower, law, you have to really be prepared to, walk people through things and, handle basically their life and how it plays out after the whistleblowing. And oftentimes it's not pleasant. And
no. It's not. No, it's not. It can. I mean, for the whistleblower, I mean, as I said, I've done a little stint of that myself. I mean, it's not really, mentally. It's a game changer. And mentally, you've got to be kind of prepared for it as well. And so sometimes it feels like the whole world's against you. That's how much an organization can put that on you. That's how big it is. I think I remember seeing a film called The Whistleblower, actually, and then there was like images of him seeing like TV. Images coming from the TV of they're going to get him and things like that. I think it was, and he's like, it was a real
One day you're a whistleblower, the next day you got PTSD.
Exactly that. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that whistleblowers have to go through that, because you guys and gals are doing a major, service, public service for the world and the country and wherever, and then you get shit on. I know I'm not allowed to use that kind of.
No, that's allowable. That's allowable. I think I can. I don't think YouTube or Spotify will, or iTunes or Apple, will take me down for that. So it should be all right. That's my. I'm on the receiving end of people you protected. Really, did you much work with the trade unions? I mean, I was a trade union rep, and I studied a politics degree with the help of them. And believe it or not, with my organization as well.
No, I never. The closest that I got is I actually represented a whistleblower who was part of the Police Benevolent Association in Florida, and he blew the whistle successfully on the private prison industry, and we got a horrible result in court. So he actually blew the whistle. The government picked up on it, did an investigation, recovered $25 million that the private prison industry billed to the state of Florida improperly. And my client should have gotten a bounty. That's what the law is designed to do. And we got a horrible result. And it was very disappointing or whatever. And, fortunately, I think he had, thick skin. He could, he could handle the loss. It was hard to explain losing on, technicality. When you actually did blow the whistle, recovered, got the government the money back, and then you don't get your bounty because of some stupid technicality.
Yeah, well, like you say, I mean, you almost are destroyed. You've got to be prepared to prepare for it. Really, I did a lot of ducking and diving, to be honest, and collecting stuff and making sure that I knew a lot. Had to read up. As I said, I studied politics, and I just had to go in that area of organisational politics and see how that would happen. But it all really got to me having to do my own hard work. It's just not easy. It's not easy out there, really. But good guys like yourself, you take the time to take that pressure off them a bit, don't you? Really?
Yeah. Well, listen. Hopefully I can. Hopefully I have.
Well, can still. I mean, if you've done that work, you can still do it again, can't you? Really?
Yeah. Listen. I'm still kicking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, so you're still based in Florida, are you?
I'm based in Florida, and I, spent a bunch of time in Massachusetts, but yes, I prefer to say that I'm from Miami than Florida.
Yeah, I've been to Miami before, actually. Yeah, or South Beach, the tourist area where the celebrities hang out. Yeah. In fact, I went to that area where the celebrity high street was. Just off the beach a bit.
No, I spent a lot of time there, and that's quite a place too. But
it is.
Florida. Yeah. Florida, I don't know, is a little bit, it's
quiet.
Well, it's not quiet, making a lot of news or whatever.
Oh, is it? All right. Okay.
Yeah, no, in the political spectrum, with the books.
Okay.
Just there's a lot.
That's right. Yeah,
we don't want to get into that.
No, you don't really want to get into that. I don't really want to start talking about Donald Trump or anything like that moment.
So that's why I say I'm from Miami, not from.
Okay. Yeah, it's still the same state, but it's a different thing. It's a bit like saying London and the rest of England or something like that.
Exactly.
It's a global city. It's a kind of different feel, isn't it? Really, but
I mean, we haven't had our Brexit moment. Miami has not had its Brexit moment.
I think
maybe I'll start that. Maybe that'll be my next line of work.
Could be. I think California was talking about that, actually.
Well, maybe we'll just join in. I mean, I know we're far away, but maybe we can, do some virtual, union or whatever. Miami.
Yeah, exactly. But I started playing golf in my retired life as a firefighter. I did manage to do almost my whole career anyway. So I thought, well, golf is nice to play. And Florida's a nice place to go for that, isn't it, really?
It is. There's a lot of golf. In fact, a lot of the pros move over to Florida.
Oh,
even some of the Brits,
that's right.
A bunch of Brits.
Yeah.
And we welcome them.
I was out in the Philippines for a while, actually, so I was in between UK and there, so that was a nice place. Yeah. It's a lot cheaper for me to play because I'm not as rich as the pros. So
not yet.
Yeah. Well, let's not go off track a bit. Let's talk about your podcast a bit now before we go, and then we'll just get everyone to find out how they can catch up with you and find out where to find you. What's it called? What's your podcast?
It's called Cut to the Chase : because there's other cut to the chases. So I had to throw the colon in and the name. And I thought, hey, that's kind of perfect for cut to the chase, right? Cut to the chase. It seemed to work, whatever. So it's a public interest mass tort. So like the firefighter litigation is really a mass tort because there's so many people, that have been injured by this tort that it becomes a mass tort. So what I do is I bring guests on, like you're bringing me on, and usually they are attorneys or people in the industry that can explain what these cases are about. They're very complicated. The cases are interesting on an environmental or public interest level as well. So for me, I, bring on very interesting guests that are very knowledgeable that a lot of people actually want to talk to. And so this is sort of a forum for people to, listen in and get, answers to questions that they want to get that they couldn't normally get unless they had to pay the lawyer to talk and say, hey, whatever, or to even basically evaluate their situation. And then the second part of it is the public interest component of it. Most of these mass torts or whatever deal with an environmental catastrophe or rampant sex abuse in the church, rampant sex abuse in Boy Scouts. I mean, whoever would have thought that would have been,
exactly. Yeah. It's quite serious. So, I've heard about the churches, actually, in Catholic Church especially. I've heard a lot of wrongdoings. I've had one guest, actually, that spoke about sexual. Yeah.
That's horrible. I mean, who would ever thought, when you were growing up, you just thought that those are.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, aside from getting, maybe they went a little overboard, with the paddle or whatever. But who knows that they were, going to the extent that they were, but it's really a societal issue. And, the church has got to kind of, look deep within and come to understand why it happened, how it happened, why they let it happen. And, because people want church, go to churches for, good reasons.
Yeah.
Spirituality or whatever. And for that to happen or whatever was really a major public interest, issue. So, I find those issues interesting. So I said, you know what, Greg? Talking to myself, that's what I like to do. Talk to me. I said, hey, why don't we do a podcast, bringing people on here to, and then I can actually learn about these things as well. Sometimes I'm going to do a cryptocurrency podcast as soon as we're done here, because there have been some court rulings that are going to have a major impact on cryptocurrencies and the exchanges. So I've got a couple of attorneys that are specializing in that, and they're going to explain what the latest ruling was. On Ripple, XRP. And then the SEC, the United States Securities Exchange Commission, has sued Coinbase, which is one of the major exchanges or whatever. And so, because they're claiming that everything that they're selling is a security and it has to be registered, and none of them, and they're taking the opposite point of view or whatever. So that litigation is going to have a major impact. I'd like to know, as somebody that actually owns cryptocurrency, how these lawyers think this litigation is going to play out in the broader spectrum. So that's sort of, where I go with my podcast. And,
well, that's quite a good, good kind of range as well. But there's serious stuff going on with cryptos at the moment. It's kind of scary because I'm just kind of trying to dabble with some trading and investments and things like that, as you probably try to. I haven't really had a real bad experience, but obviously crypto is kind of I don't know, it's not regulated, and you hear these things happening with some of these brokers, owners of these exchanges that are now getting done for fraud because they've got all the money and run with it, and especially it crashed in it recently, and because it's not regulated, they can think they can probably get away with quite a lot, but obviously not so much with guys like you trying to get them, really.
Well, it's a double-edged sword because I want the crypto to go, to do well, but at the same time, there's a lot of bad players that need to be flushed out of the whole,
Well, the other thing now is the AI. That's another new thing. What's scary about that is obviously these actors have come on board and said, look, I don't want you cloning my voice and my videos and doing whatever you want with them. What's scary is that it can happen that way, can't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're living, in a time period that's just, 10, 15, 20 years ago, people would talk about cloning, would talk about robots and be like, ooh, boy, could you imagine yourself cloned or whatever? And it'd be like, oh my God, they can do some of this, but now we're at a point where it's actually, front and center. And now what are we going to do? So,
well, I mean, it's good and bad because, it is being used for some great stuff. Like a lot in the medical industry, they're finding it really useful for research and robotic stuff and things like that. Where it helps with surgery and radiotherapy and things like that. But and also in the music industry or entertainment, it can be a good thing. I think it was Paul McCartney said he managed to find some old tracks that weren't finished, and he managed to get the voices of his.
Yeah,
because
I think one with John Lennon, right?
That's John Lennon. That's it. Yeah. And he said, it actually helped me finish the track, and he felt really great about that because obviously, So
exciting. Hopefully, the governments will figure out how to regulate it in a safe way, and we're not going to be.
That and crypto is the future, but it's a regulation, and it's a bit of a Wild West still, isn't it? Really.
Yep. We're back to the Wild West.
We are indeed. Even more so when it's online like that. It's not like it's one country doing it. Yeah,
I know.
Probably some of the worst places is I don't want to say it in a horrible way, but Russia is one of the countries that have lots of gangs and go online and try and do certain things, and it's global, isn't it? It's global when you see them come there and then they come out saying, we're the gang that hacked your thing and blah blah blah. Give us this money now,
Yeah,
it's just
well,
crazy.
Listen, don't open up a link, that you receive by text.
Yeah,
that's it. That's
well, even by email, or
by email.
Yeah, exactly. even by that. I've had my website really got some, not Trojan. Was it Trojan? I can't remember what it was, but it just ruined my whole thing because it kept redirecting somewhere else, and that was like, it's like my business kind of thing. So actually, my podcast, I just lost my RSS feed, and that was my own fault really in a way, but now I've got to upload my backup files again, and it's almost like starting again, but it's taken a lot of my time up, and that's not as bad as having your website totally destroyed by a virus or Trojan, whatever they call it, but it still takes up a lot of time. You've got to be careful on that, but you're doing a great job out there. So tell the audience before you go, Greg, where they can find out more about the work you do, what work it is you do, and where they can find you for each one of you, and including your podcast, of course.
Wow, that's a lot. All right, so I've got two websites. One for my law firm, which is my name, GreggGoldfarb.com. That'll give you all the information to contact me, see what kinds of legal issues I handle. And then there's CutToTheChasePodcast.com, and that has all my episodes. And that's, so you can scroll through it. I've got, a whole series on science. I actually brought on a physicist who did like the planet, right? So if you're interested in the planet, you can also do that. Plus all the mass tort and legal issues or whatever. Yeah. So those are the two easiest way to find me.
Yeah. Okay.
And, that's what I got.
Oh, fantastic. Greg, it's been a really great, I know it's a short interview. Actually, sometimes these short podcasts are great because people just want a quick listen. They don't want to, or even video, want a quick watch, because this is both video and audio. So
we're two good-looking guys. So,
that's it, exactly. I did have a shaved head and beard, as you saw on my thing, but we don't know. No, not at all. But Greg, I'd just like to say thanks a lot for sharing your work and your expertise to my audience and really entertaining them with the work you do. It really has been great talking to you today.
All right, and thank you for having me on your show, Dave. All right.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe, and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts. Or head over to my website, davepalmer.com, and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Palmer Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.